I don't want this video to be toxic. I want to talk about the bad things. I want to talk about how to improve them. This is just my opinion. I feel MDI has been becoming a bit bland, and I feel class diversity, or the lack of class diversity, is the driving point to making MDI much more boring. But at the same time, I agree with Blizzard. It's hard to balance everything. It's hard to balance for Mythic Plus, hard to balance for raids. Just force players to play different classes, and now you have different specs, different utility, different routes with beguiling. Hello guys, welcome to my new video, and today we're talking about MDI, Mythic Dungeon Invitational, and this is a hot topic for the last couple of days because the summer season or the summer split has started, and there's been a lot of hype about MDI overall, but I feel there's been a lot of kind of topics popping up on Reddit, popping up on multiple different forum sites about the shortfalls of MDI format. How could it be improved? And I feel this is a perfect platform for me to talk about the things that I feel MDI does well, the things that MDI could improve on, and how they can improve on, how can they make the viewer experience for, you as a viewer more interesting, because I feel a lot of people who do play World of Warcraft in the PvE environment, they really enjoy what MDI has brought towards the whole esport experience. So I just want to ask you one question before we start the video. How many people actually knew that there were open signups for MDI summer time trials? On their website, I found that if you signed up before July 21st with, a group and you get approved, you'll probably get access to tournament ramps and you'll be able to compete in the tournament. I'm just wondering how many people knew about this, because I feel Blizzard communication here, or the marketing team, kind of failed a little bit, because I had no idea about this. None of the guildmates knew about this, because I enjoy participating in the tournament rounds, playing with certain classes, and I had no idea about this. So leave a comment below. I really want to know your opinion and if you actually knew about the open signups for the MDI. So now we can actually start with the video. So I want to cover the bad, the good, and how to improve MDI in general, because I'm going to make a sweeping statement that BFA MDI is boring. And that is a sweeping statement, and I don't know how many people are going to agree with me, but I want to compare Legion MDI. In Legion, it was a huge new thing. MDI PvE esport, is it going to work? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be interesting to watch? It was like, the hype was real, because it was something so brand new. It was never done before, at least I don't think it was ever done before in World of Warcraft. So all of a sudden, I was super hyped. I was watching nearly like every second game. I was making videos because I wanted to make videos. The drama was real. There were key resets. Certain teams had their key reset, and then everyone was unhappy. There was, the drama kind of hyped it up as well. And I feel it was a huge, huge success. It was just an amazing experience. It was, in my eyes, a complete success. PvE can be an esport. That was the statement that I got from Legion MDI. And I feel the only way to go was to go up and to build on top of the success. Now BFA rolls in, and the BFA MDI, in my opinion, was pretty boring. And I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how to improve it. This is not a toxic video. I want to talk about the solutions to the problems that I see. Now, this is my personal opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion in comments and things like that. So first of all, I did not watch a lot of games, and the main reason for that, and this is why I want to talk about the bad stuff, class diversity. The class diversity in BFA MDI was, in my opinion, it was pretty bad. Now, it is not fun to watch 90% of the games where you will have mirror matchups with a Prot Warrior, Double Rogue, Windwalker Monk, and a Resto Druid. And you'll see them doing the same exact pulse, you'll see them doing the same, the same kind of utilities being used, and the better Rogue, the better Resto Druid won the fight or won the tournament. Don't get me wrong, there were still some extremely crazy pulls and routes being achieved by some of the top end teams, but majority of the time, it was the same comp with the same amount of, or the same routing that was available. And I feel these are the two big issues: class diversity and lack of route options. Now, I'll talk about route options later on. Class diversity, I am on the Blizzard side here. I think balancing classes at the top 1% and making sure that Mythic Plus balance doesn't spill into raiding balance, and then all of a sudden raiding raiding classes become really bad, or Mythic Plus changes make raiding classes way too strong. It is extremely, extremely hard. Another point I want to make is that I don't want every single class to feel exactly the same. There's a lot of people who are saying that, hey, you should make every single spec do the same amount of damage just by pressing different buttons, and it should remove the overpowered utility. So all of a sudden, classes that felt like, they had a niche abilities, they no longer have it. For example, maybe Shroud should be removed and you can purchase it through professions, maybe from blacksmithing or something like that. That's what a lot of people are suggesting, that a lot of these utilities should be removed from all these classes, because that's the only way to balance classes in Mythic Plus, because Shroud is so strong, and then there's certain other classes where the utility is really strong. I don't fully agree with this, because I like certain classes having certain class niches or class fantasy attached to it, where a certain spec brings this huge or very strong utility bonus. I like that. I don't want every class to be the same, but that's a topic for another video. I'm basically saying class balance is hard. In order to balance them at the very top end level is extremely, extremely hard in my opinion, especially when you have to consider raiding. So I can see Blizzard's problems here with class diversity, and it's going to be really hard for them to do that. So how can you solve this problem? Let's move on to the solutions. First of all, class diversity, in my opinion, could be fixed by having forced class diversity. And this is going to be taking notes from League of Legends. League of Legends had a pick and ban phase for a long time, and I feel the pick and ban phase could be introduced in World of Warcraft MDI. And I know you're saying it's pretty out there, but I feel that, the 36 specs that are available, there can be a lot of variety that's gonna make viewer experience a lot more interesting. And because Blizzard cannot balance classes properly, or at least it's very hard to do it, let's force players to pick variety of different classes. Now, this is going to be my solution, so I'm gonna have multiple solutions here. First of all, one thing that I wanted to suggest is having 3 bans. You can ban one class from the tanking role, one class from the DPS role, one class from the healer role, and now all of a sudden you will have, different diversity. Another solution, pick and ban phase, just like in League of Legends. In World of Warcraft, you have 36 specs. If you're the team that's picking the first spec, you have an option of picking any of the classes. For example, Team A picks Resto Druid because they know their healer cannot really play any other healer really properly. Let's go with Resto Druid. And then the second team gets a second pick, and they're gonna pick an Outlaw Rogue because they wanna go and get Outlaw Rogues. So exactly like League of Legends, I'm sure people are familiar with this concept, and it could work. It does require a lot of additional development from the production team of World of Warcraft. Keep that in mind. Another thing is a cap on classes. For example, you can't have more than one rogue. Maybe you can't have more than one melee DPS. Maybe you can't have more than one range DPS. Things like that, so you don't have mirror matches where you have the exact same comp battling the exact same comp again. And I feel this could actually work. And these are only a couple of suggestions. There's a lot of different ways to make forced, and I wanna emphasize this, forced class diversity. You don't need to balance classes, you just need to make the MDI players pick different classes. And this is gonna make viewer experience a lot more enjoyable, in my opinion. Now, the second issue that could happen as well is routes. And I mentioned about routing with reaping in, BFA MDI tournaments and things like that. But I feel Blizzard is completely approaching this with beguiling. Beguiling is a type of affix that's gonna change per dungeon, per affix. For example, the Void Emissary ad is gonna spawn in different locations when you have, bursting. But it's gonna spawn in different locations in the same dungeon when you have, for example, Grievous. So all of a sudden, you have a lot of different routing options available, and it's gonna change per dungeon, per affix. And I feel Blizzard made this with the sole intention of making dungeons feel fresh and new for, players in the retail World of Warcraft, and also allowing or providing different experience in MDI for the viewer. All of a sudden you might see a different pulse for the same dungeon, and the same dungeon will feel very unique. So I feel Blizzard is completely fixing this issue, at least I hope it's gonna fix. I can't wait to check out the MDI with beguiling and see how the routing is gonna change, but I feel it's not that big of an issue at the moment, and I feel beguiling is kind of doing that. So class diversity is the biggest issue at the moment, and I feel ban phase, pick and ban phase, cap on certain classes, any of those can be taken into account, and the viewer experience is going to be better. All of a sudden you see different classes. Maybe the meta is gonna change because all of a sudden all these players who are looking for plus 10 keys will look for different classes. If you look at the meta right now, if you look at the MDI Summer Split Time Trial classes, it's a Prot Warrior, it's a triple Rogue, and it's a Resto Druid. It's basically the exact same thing that happened at the start of BFA. So Blizzard has failed with the class balancing. Or maybe they haven't failed because it's really hard to do. Let Blizzard force players to play different specs. The downside of this is that the MDI players will have to be able to play multiple specs really well. But I feel a lot of professional World of Warcraft players, or any professional esport player, should be capable of playing multiple classes in their given game. At least that's my opinion, and I'd love to hear your opinions on this as well. Let me know. This is a discussion video. I crave for your comments because I really want to hear what you think about this. Do you feel MDI is still as fun as it was at the start? Do you want class diversity? Do you want certain different changes? And did you know about the sign up for the Summer MDI? Did you know about that? Let me know, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.